Hey, great. Looks like we're about to get started. Welcome, everyone. Happy Friday. We will probably get started in just about a minute or so. Let me see if we have any latecomers. Okay, great. All right, I will start sharing my screen and then we'll kick off. Sound good? You see that okay?
It looks great, Amanda.
Great. So welcome, everyone. Today, I'm going to be speaking about the University Career Center. Just to kick off, my name is Amanda Champagne, and I am a career coach with the University Career Center. And I am joined by my lovely colleague, Joelle.
Hi, everyone. My name is Joelle Randall. I use she, her pronouns, and I will be behind the scenes, if you will. If you have any questions, I will be responding to the Q&A, as well as I'll be adding some helpful resources that Amanda is going over into the chat. And so if you have questions, please let me know. Here for you all, but Amanda will be leading us in today's wonderful session with the University Career Center. So excited to see y'all. Take care.
Okay, great. So as Joelle mentioned, I'm going to be leading our session today. I'm hoping we can make this fun, maybe a little bit interactive, and I'm more than happy to answer any questions that you might have. So throughout our time together, if you'd like to engage by putting your questions in the Q&A, we will have Joelle be checking that, and I'll make sure to make some time and space for that towards the end. Before I jump into the actual content, I just want to go over a couple of things. One, so if you're wondering where the University Career Center is, we are located in the Student Activities Building. So we are right on Central Campus, right next to the cube, if you've ever seen this big spinning cube before. And if you ever got a chance to go on campus to get a tour through admissions, then we're in the same building as them, that big, beautiful glass building, and we're up on the 3rd floor. So especially once you get to campus, feel free to come up and visit us anytime you'd like. So with that being said, I'm hoping that you learned so many wonderful things during our time together today. But overall, I'm hoping that you have 2 main takeaways that you'll get out of our experience, along with learning about some additional resources and some ways that the University Career Center is really here to help you succeed and just feel really great during your time, both in college and beyond. So I wanted to kick off with a question. As I mentioned, I think it's fun to have a bit of engagement and participation. So first question that I wanted to ask was, what percentage of students switch their major in college? Do you think it's A, 12%, B, 25%, C, 33%, or D, 41%? If you want to take a guess, feel free to maybe throw that into the chat or throw that into the Q&A, see if we get any guesses.
And I'm happy to read out loud as the Q&As come in what your answers are. So we have someone that has said C. Someone else has said C, another C, a D, 41%. Let's see, D, Amber said, oh, she jumped. Andrew said D, Amber said D, Sophia said D, someone anonymously said C, and Eric has said C. So those are our guesses so far. Thank you for the 9 folks that have answered that.
Awesome. Thanks so much. And I love seeing all the participation. I love that y'all are already jumping into things. Definitely continue to do that, whether it's with continued participation in some of our fun questions or with some of your own questions throughout our time together. We'd love to see it. So for those of you who guessed C, you are correct. Around 33% of college students at some point switch their major during college, right? So if we're doing that math, that means 1 out of 3 of you, right? So 1 out of every 3 college students typically changes their mind at some point throughout their time in college, whether that's switching from one major to another, or maybe they're previously undecided and then decide to clear something different, right? Whatever that might be. And we just wanted to point this out to show both that it's really normal to do some exploration and possibly change your mind after some reflection, but also that it's really healthy, right? So the first takeaway that we want to make sure that you have from our time together today is that career uncertainty is a really healthy part of the career exploration process. Going to be a little vulnerable here. So I was one of those students who actually came into college completely undecided. I didn't know what I wanted my major to be. I wasn't sure what I was going to do with my career, right? And so I actually came in thinking I was going to do one major and took a couple of those classes and was like, oh, actually, that's not the right fit for me. And then I tried something else and ended up working out really well. And so that's something I just wanted to share that story because hopefully it can also encourage you who might be in the same boat, right? So it's okay if you're not exactly sure what you want to major in yet, or you're not exactly sure what you want your long-term career to be. But it can be a really healthy part of the process to try out some new things, to take some time for reflection and explore your different option. And that's a lot of what your experiences throughout college and also the resources the University Career Center are here to support you with. So another question that I have for the group is going to be a true and false. So hopefully this will have even better chances of getting a correct answer. True or false, you should wait until junior year to visit the University Career Center. So once again, I'm going to have a pause for a minute or so here and would love to see your guesses in the Q&A or in the chat. Do you think that's true? You should wait until junior year, or false, you shouldn't wait.
So it looks like we're getting them in. So far, anonymously, someone said false. Eric said false. Another anonymous false. James said false. Alyssa said false. Amber said false. Sophia, false. So far, everyone has shared false.
Oh my gosh. Well, we have a really smart group here today because you all got that correct answer correct. The answer is false. You should not wait until your junior year to visit the University Career Center. We suggest that you come in during your first year on campus. So whether you're a first year incoming student or a transfer student, we really recommend coming in to visit us as soon as you can. This can be really helpful because we would love to support you throughout your entire process throughout your time at U of M. And it's okay to come in with some questions, right? I think one of the biggest concerns I sometimes hear with students coming into one-on-one appointments is they're like, oh, I wasn't sure if I should come in yet because I haven't decided my major yet, or I don't have my career picked out. And we just want to affirm you that you don't have to have things figured out before you come to visit us, right? We're actually here to have our resources and expertise to share with you in that process of like, hey, if you don't have things figured out, great. What are some steps that we can take together? Or how can we do some reflection exercises together to help you feel more confident in some of those decisions? So as I mentioned, the second main takeaway for today is that your preparation can really begin now, right? And we're here to support you in whatever that can look like. And I wanted to see how this would all tie together. So one thing that I wanted to highlight today was career readiness competencies. What these are is skills that employers are looking for college graduates to have after they graduate from college. This is actually developed by NACE, the National Association for Colleges and Employers, that does a survey every couple of years to say, what are the things that employers are looking for, right, when they want to hire someone? And as you can see, some of these you might be familiar with, such as communication, critical thinking skills, leadership abilities. These might even be skills you've already started developing, whether it's your time in colleges already or throughout your time in high school. But some of them might be new to you, right? So for example, career and self-development. Are you able to articulate your skills and your strengths and identify what your career goals are? Or things like equity and inclusion. Especially here at the University of Michigan, we really highly value equity and inclusion in our own communities and also in the communities that you participate in. And so it's important to be able to build up some of those skills to work with all different types of people. And also things like technology, right? The fact that all of you are joining this Zoom call today shows that you've already started adapting and building up your own technology skills. So this is really important to go over because it helps to show that throughout your time in college and at the University of Michigan, it can be helpful to start identifying both what are the skills that are your strengths, right? What are the things that you're already excelling in, but also where are the areas that you need to grow? And maybe there's some of these skills that you can start working on either right now or throughout different experiences during your time in college to make sure that by the time you graduate, you have all of these and you're going to be a really successful and confident candidate for the workforce and feel really ready to head into your own career. So I wanted to go over a few different resources and some ways that we can really help to support you. And the three main ways that we support all of you as University of Michigan students is by getting to know yourself, getting to know your resources, and also your alumni community. So those will be the three things that we'll be mainly highlighting as far as both resources and next steps. One way that we help you to get to know yourself is through career assessments. Career assessments can be so helpful, especially for students who might be exploring or in that beginning reflection process of, hey, I'm not really sure what are my natural strengths and talents, right? So if that's something where you're not really sure, it can be great to identify those through an assessment like the Clifton Strengths Assessment, right? Or another one that I really love working with students on is the Strong Interest Inventory. This is great because it can help students to identify what are some of my strong interests, what are some things that I enjoy or might get excited about. And then from there, we have one-on-one conversations around how could this connect to possibly your college major or a summer internship, and start connecting some of those dots between what you really enjoy doing and how you can use these to start building up your own career. Another way that we help students to identify both resources and get to know yourself a little bit is through first-year programs. First-year programs are for any first-year students on campus, so both incoming students and transfer students. And one of my favorite programs that we do is Ready, Set, Intern. Ready, Set, Intern is such a cool exploration program that we do. During that time, we have a few reflection and community building activities that we host with students during that workshop. But also we go over some helpful resources, and this can be really great, especially if you're someone who you're searching for your first job or your first summer internship, because we go over what are some ways to get started and learning about like, hey, how do I look for an internship? Or is this something I should start looking for now? And we go over some of those things, and it's really fun. Another thing that we do, especially with first year students and incoming transfer students, is our resume labs. Resume labs are a great chance to get your foot in the door and really connect with the University Career Center, because these are easy, low pressure, personalized drop-in advising, right? So in resume labs, you can come in whether you have never made a resume before and you need help getting started, or you're like, I already have a resume and I just need help reviewing it or brushing up a little bit. But resume labs, we host them around 2 or 3 times a week. And that's a great chance for you to connect with both our coaches and our peer advisors and get some help with your resume. And oftentimes resumes can feel like a really great tangible first step to get started and start working on your career. Great. And then from there, one way that we help you to get connected with resources on campus and get connected with some of your interests is through career tracks. Career tracks are really awesome because we put together tools and resources for students who are interested in certain fields or industries. So as you can see here, some different tracks that we offer are things like going into government, going into healthcare, law, data science, right? There's so many great opportunities. But let's say you're a student that's incoming and you're thinking about, well, what if I want to go into healthcare? Or what if I want to possibly be pre-med? But I'm not sure how to do that, right? Signing up for a career track can be really helpful because then you can receive a monthly newsletter to get up-to-date information on things like, what are the upcoming events for people who are interested in this type of industry? What are some of the helpful articles and resources that I should need? Or how do I find out about upcoming opportunities on campus, whether maybe they're upcoming job opportunities or volunteer opportunities? These can be great ways to get more in-depth, customized resources around a certain topic or a certain industry that you're excited about, or even just interested in and want to find out more information about. From there, the next resource that I wanted to go over was Internship Labs and Employer Challenges. These are really cool ways that we help students to start get connected to different employers and different opportunities. Internship Labs are very similar to resume labs, in which they're really easy, comfortable, drop-in advising, right? Once again, we host them around 2 or 3 times a week. You can get that real-time personalized support. So this could be especially helpful for students, whether you're just getting started in your internship search and you're like, I'm not really sure how to go through this process, or maybe you've been internship searching a little bit and you're like, hey, I'm running into this barrier, or I have these questions around these internships that I'm interested in, right? Internship Labs can be a really great way to get that personalized support and find out a little bit more, and also get your questions answered right on the spot by some of our experts and career coaches. So Internship Labs can be really great to drop in, hang out with us at the University Career Center, and we'll be offering them both in person and online during these upcoming year. Another really cool thing that we offer for students to help them get connected to employers and different opportunities is employer challenges. So employer challenges are very similar to case competitions or those types of activities in which you'll have a chance to actually gain experience of what would it actually be like to connect with an employer and maybe solve a real world problem, right? So we have really cool connections with employers from all over the country in all different types of industries. And we'll have those employers come onto campus and present a case. This might be an actual problem they have going on in the office. This could be something that they're doing currently within their work. And then they'll present that to you as a student. And from there, you and your team or group of friends can actually work together to solve that problem, right? Build up those problem solving and critical thinking skills, also your teamwork skills. And then from there, present your solution back to the employers. This can be so helpful to not only get a taste for like, hey, can I really see myself doing this full time, but also get a chance to connect with possibly a new employer that you might want to work for in the future. So employer challenges are super cool opportunities to try something out, but also build new connections and kind of build some new cool skills along the way. And if you want to find out about how to get connected to all of these things that I've talked about today, those are all through your Handshake profile. Handshake is really awesome. It's the platform that we use specifically for all of these things that I've just gone over. So for example, this is how you make a one-on-one appointment with me or any of our awesome career coaches. This is also where you can sign up for a career track, right? Those awesome career tracks that I was talking about, and other things as well. So just how to check out employer challenges, different events and labs, and also learn about other opportunities, such as how do I attend a career fair, right? So you will all have access to your Handshake account. And then from there, you can start making appointments, checking out different events, and all of those really great things. Want to take a pause here and just check in if there's things that have been coming in from the chat or any questions that have come up along the way before I start going into the next part of the presentation. Okay, great. So since I don't see anything in the chat so far, I'm going to keep going, but feel free to continue to put your questions in the Q&A. I'll be happy to get to them towards the end of our time together. So as I mentioned, we wanted to go over that we connect you to getting to know yourself, getting to know your resources, and this third part that I wanted to go over was connecting you to the U of M alumni community. University of Michigan has an amazing, huge University of Michigan alumni community around the world, right? And so it can be so important for you to get in touch with that community, and we help you to do that in a couple different ways. One is we do that through LinkedIn coaching. So we help you, whether it's just getting started with a LinkedIn profile, or figuring out, hey, how do I really use LinkedIn to the best of my ability? And we also help you with the University Career Alumni Network. The University Career Alumni Network, UCAN for short, is actually one of my favorite resources that we have at the University Career Center. It is so cool because it's specifically U of M alumni who have volunteered to be reached out to. So these are literally people who said, hey, I've been in your shoes before, right? I'm an alumni and I want you to reach out and ask me for help. So this can be so great because it's a chance for you to connect to alumni who really know what you're going through, whether it's you're figuring out how to pick a certain major that you're deciding between, or maybe you're starting to explore a certain career path, right? Connecting with a U of M alumni can be a really great way to get inside information, more resources, those types of things. As you can see here, there are thousands and thousands of alumni who have already volunteered for this, and it's pretty easy to navigate. So for example, let's say you're joining us from Chicago today, right? You can actually type in Chicago and look for other U of M alumni who are living in Chicago right now. And maybe you're deciding, oh, what if I want to declare a English major, but I'm not sure what I want to do with it. Let me talk to U of M alumni who are actually English majors, right? From there, you can find someone like Sarah who lives in Chicago, who is an English major, right? And actually works as a marketing manager. Oh, what if that's something that I might be interested in doing? Or what if I could see myself being a marketing manager one day? I want to reach out to Sarah and ask her for help and ask about how she did that and what advice she might have for me. And as I mentioned, Sarah and all of these thousands of other alumni have been really great because they actually volunteered to be reached out to. So definitely get on UCAN, use that to reach out to these U of M alumni. They're so awesome and really great to connect with. And as I mentioned, we have so many amazing resources throughout the University Career Center, but what I think is our very best resource is actually our students. So we wanted to make sure that you got a chance to actually hear from students to hear about what their perspectives are and what they think of the University Career Center.
So my advice for incoming student is to get involved in clubs. It's the easiest way to find something that you're passionate about and show employers what you like to do.
Don't be afraid to change paths. My advice is educate yourself about all the resources and services that are available to you.
Use the Career Center resources because they're free. They're free. They're free. You can come in, receive any sort of advice that you're looking for that pertains to job searching or internships. Come in, get your resume or cover letter reviewed. Come in and learn about the different internship opportunities in whatever area that you might be interested in.
Take advantage of the alumni network that the University of Michigan has. Start having informational interviews. Start chatting with different Wolverines around the country and get to hear what they do on a day-to-day basis and really get that insight into certain careers that you're considering.
Okay. So obviously, like I said, I love going over how much I love the University Career Center and how great our resources are. But I definitely think it can be even more powerful to hear that advice from students as well. So as I'm starting to kind of wrap up some of the content that I've prepared today, before I go over some of the questions, wanted to cover a couple last minute things. So as I mentioned, somewhere in the beginning of the presentation, I talked about Ready, Set, Intern. Right? Ready, Set, Intern is one of our coolest programs that we offer specifically for first-year students, so both incoming students and transfer students. So wanting to put these on your radar in case you would like to sign up or register for these, or just put them in your calendar and get prepped for them. Here are the first 4 dates that we're offering, and all of these workshops are going to be virtual and held at 6 p.m. Eastern time. So wanted to put these on your calendar in case you wanted to make note of them. And then also, of course, as I mentioned, I'll have plenty of time to answer questions after this, but we wanted to encourage you to stay connected with us as I mentioned, both as soon as you start your own career journey, but also throughout your time at the University of Michigan. So if you feel comfortable asking some of these questions today, great. But also if you're someone like me, who are like, oh man, I thought of this question at like midnight and I'm not sure like who to ask or where to go, those types of things. Wanted to make sure you had resources to follow up with us. So here is both our phone number and our email to get connected with us, and our awesome social media. Especially we are on YouTube, we're on Twitter, we're on Instagram. I think our Instagram's super cool. So that's something that wanted to make sure you had other ways of staying connected with us as well, especially if you're like me and you're like, oh man, I didn't think of that question earlier. I should have asked Amanda, right? You can always follow up and ask later. Awesome. So that's all the content that I have for right now. And this will be kind of the Q&A portion where we can go over some of the questions that have been coming in the chat, and go from there.
So Amanda, we do have one question that I think you could start with, and it is, when should I start looking for a summer internship? Is it different with different majors?
Absolutely. That's a really great question. So as this person already might have been thinking about, it is going to be different depending on both your major and potential interests, right? So not every single job field or industry is going to have the exact same recruiting cycle. Some industries have a bit of an earlier recruiting cycle, whereas some have a bit of a later one, right? So I would say if you're looking to start searching for your first summer internship, then some things that you can do are, of course, attend Ready, Set, Intern, where we go over how to get started with that process. But also you can book a one-on-one appointment with us and we can talk through, hey, what industry are you interested in? Or what field do you want to go into? And from there, we can go over, great, what does that recruitment timeline look like, right? Because for some people, you know, right now actually might be a great time to start prepping your resume and start keeping an eye out for internships for next summer. Whereas for some other interests, it might not, you know, be relevant until later on during the school year. So it does kind of depend. But overall, once again, it's never too early to get started. And we're happy to support you based on what you need.
Amanda, another question came in is resume assistance available over the summer or only during the semester?
Absolutely. Another great question. And so the answer is we provide assistance and support in all of our resources all year round, right? So we do not take off during the summer. So absolutely, right now we can support you with your resume through virtual resume labs that we're hosting right now throughout the summer. So you can check out those through your Handshake profile. And we also have really cool online resources through the Career Center website as well, that has helpful videos on how to work on your resume. There's also templates and samples of other student resumes. So, you know, those are a couple different ways that we can help you out with your resume today. Is either you can check out when the next resume lab is, or check out some of the online resources and kind of get some resume support from there. But thanks so much for asking that question.
We have another great question, Amanda. And as Amanda is our lead team member for Ready, Set, Intern, so it's around Ready, Set, Intern. For this workshop, do we only pick one date to attend, or do we attend all of these?
Oh, thank you so much for asking that question. I apologize if that wasn't clear when I was talking about them. So you just need to attend one resume, Ready, Set, Intern workshop. All of the content in those workshops is going to be the same. We just offer them on multiple dates because we know so many incoming students and first year students want to attend that workshop and find it really beneficial. And we know that not one single date is going to work for everyone. So we offer multiple dates for Ready, Set, Intern, and you can just attend one and get all of the information that you need to get started.
Amanda, we also had another great question. Is employer challenges just for industry, or does it include government agencies? And so this individual, I sent them the link to our employer challenges, and you can see the list of previous employers, and I'll put it in the chat as well. But we do have government agencies. We've had the CIA come, and you can see the list of the employers. So I'll put that in the chat. I just thought that was a really good question that others may have as well.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, Joelle basically covered that, but Absolutely. Our employer challenges are not just for, for-profit industries. They're also for government organizations or not for profit organizations. We work with employers in all different backgrounds and industries. And as Joel mentioned, we have some really cool employer contacts in a lot of different really cool organizations. So definitely check those out.
I'm just looking to see if we have some other ones, but you've answered them live. So I think if you have other questions, feel free to put them in the chat or the Q&A.
All right, I see one person just asked a quick question. How long is Ready, Set, Intern? So Ready, Set, Intern is a 50-minute workshop. So it'll be about an hour.
Looks like there's another question, Amanda. Can you see it? Feel free to read it and share with the team.
Yeah, so this other one that I think just came in is, are there limited spots for Ready, Set, Intern? What happens if I have a conflict for the day I signed up for? So there are limited spots, but don't worry, there's tons and tons of spots open right now. And so that's something of, if you would like to sign up today, there's gonna be plenty of opportunities. And let's say, if you end up having a conflict for the one that you sign up for, you can just drop your registration through sessions for that date and then just sign up for a new date down the line. So that's another reason why we offer multiple dates for those types of things.
We also have another question about Ready, Set, Intern, Amanda. What is covered during Ready, Set, Intern?
Yeah, great question. So during Ready, Set, Intern, as I mentioned a little bit before, we'll be going over a few both community building and self-reflection activities. So during that time, we'll be going over how to start identifying some of your interests or some of your potential interests that you might want to explore, and be doing a couple even like group activities in which we're doing breakout rooms and those types of things as well. And then from there, we also go into some kind of planning and action steps. So this is especially helpful for anyone who's like, all right, I think I might want to start looking for internships, but I'm not sure how to get started. This can be a really great workshop to attend, because we start going over like, great, maybe what's one action step that you can create, or what are some resources to get started, those types of things.
So Amanda, we also had another question come in. Where can I find the links in the chat if I can't copy them? And so I'm happy to take this one question. If you look at the screen right now, it says Career Center at umich.edu. If you go to our website, this is where you're going to see all of those links that we've shared throughout today's presentation. So I do encourage you all to explore our website based on the topic. We have it organized. So just wanted to take a few seconds to address that question. And then we have another great question. Y'all are so engaging. We have a question. So as a first year, can I register for Ready, Set, Intern now or via handshake?
Yeah, absolutely. So the answer is both. So if you're a first year student or an incoming transfer student, you can register for Ready, Set, Intern now. And you can do that either through our events page on Handshake, through your Handshake profile, or you can also do that through, as Joelle just mentioned, our really awesome website. So on our website, you just click on the tab that says Attend a Workshop, and we have the registration links for all of our Ready, Set, Intern dates on there as well. So either way, you'll be able to register right now, pick a date that works for you, and get that all set up and ready to go.
And looks like we have another question from Alyssa. Is it common to have a summer internship every year?
Yeah, great question. So I would say this is something where it's sort of yes and no, right? So the reason why I say that is because if you wanted to, you absolutely can have an internship every year, right? If you wanted to do an internship during every summer, that's something that some students choose to do. And it can be really great, right? But both for their careers and their own professional development. But I also want to say no, because there's so many other really cool things that college students do during their summer, right? So what I always suggest when students are like, do I need to have an internship or not? I always recommend thinking about, well, how are you going to make the best use of your summer, right? How do you feel like this is going to be really beneficial for you and your own growth and development? And so for some people, that might mean taking the summer off, to prioritize their own health and wellness, maybe taking a break from their classes, right? And that can be a really valuable use of their time. For other people, the summer might be a great time to go back home, right? And maybe that's a great chance to connect with family members or maybe have a summer job, right? And for other people, the summer can be a great chance for exploration, right? Maybe taking a new class you never heard of before, or choosing to study abroad during your summer, or get involved in a really cool local or community service activity, right? And so what I recommend, as long as you feel like you're using your summer in a way that feels really, beneficial to you and your path moving forward, that's the most important part. So if you have an internship during the summer, that's really great. That's going to be awesome for your career. But also, there's so many different things that you can do. And if you're not sure, like I have no idea what I want to do with my summer, once again, let's have a one-on-one conversation about it. We can set up a one-on-one appointment and we can talk through, how to sort through some of these options or how to get connected with some opportunities that sound really interesting. Okay. Well, Joelle, correct me if I'm wrong, but I'm looking at the chat and it looks like we totally cleared up all of our Q&A today. Sorry.
No, I was just going to say you are correct. One thing I did want to take a second before, I know we're going to be transitioning here soon, but I also realized one of the questions was if you can't access the chat. I'm also happy to read off. I know Amanda mentioned that we have Instagram, and if you're able to see the screen, you can see our account, but it's also UMICH Career Center. You can follow us there and access it that way, as well as on Twitter. It's at Career Center. And then our YouTube page is the Career Center UM. So just wanted to be inclusive for folks if you aren't able to visually see things and if you're just listening to the audio, so you now have that information. And again, our website is careercenter@umich.edu.
Great. Thanks so much for highlighting that. Okay, great. So I will leave this open for just another minute or two in case anyone has any last minute questions. But besides that, just wanted to thank you all so much for your time today. Really appreciated your time and energy and your awesome participation. We've had such great engagement within the chat and the questions today. So really appreciate that. And it's been a lot of fun talking to you all.